shake, rattle, and troll.
It's time for the award-winning Shake, Rattle, and Troll.
Yeah, kiss the one that body, grab your favorite pose. Me and the boys gonna shake.
A show for the serious fishermen as well as the novice looking for tips from the pros. Shake, Rattle, and Troll brought to you by Bill Luke Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram. I-17 and Camelback Road since 1927.
Yeah, we got the power, we got the speed. We're running wide open on a midsummer breeze. Freshwater, saltwater, watch out, boys. Bass Daddy Don's gonna make some noise. Me and the boys gonna shake, rattle, and
Now, here's your host, saltwater fisherman, the man that fears no fish, Bass Daddy and Tournament Pro, Don McDowell.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm Don McDowell. Welcome to Shake, Rattle, and Troll today. We have got a handful for you. JK's in the house, my co-host. John J. Colazar, back from the ADA Youth Camp. Now, with as much gray hair as you have, how'd you enroll yourself in the youth camp?
I fudged numbers.
Nice. Mike Hoffarth, president of Goodyear Bass Club, part of the AZBFN, is here. I appreciate you coming down. Are you going to educate us on lizards today?
Well, a little bit.
Lizards
Maybe.
and Evan Williams. What a combination.
Like it says on the back of those shirts, you know, bourbon and fishing. Life is good.
Wow.
Even if you're comatose.
Yeah, we're going to move along on that. And then we have some other special guests here. Jeff Abrahamson from Ranger Pest Control is going to educate us on fishing the Bitterroot River with a fly rod. And we have Mr. President. I think this is the highest ranking person we've had in the...
No, it's you.
Huh?
You.
So he's the president.
I know. So are you.
Of the
So am I.
Arizona Military Vehicle Collectors Club. Guys, thanks for coming down today.
Great to be here.
So, Jeff, I have to ask you, you know, we're all piling in here and, you know, the best vehicle we can drive, and you have got a classic out there.
That is an awesome rig.
Thank you. It's a 1959 Chevy truck, big window, long bed, and fleet side. It's got some white walls on it, and, you know, it's set up for my pest control with a Jack Daniels barrel in the back.
I saw it, yeah. I'm going, yeah. Pest control.
Here's how you get rid of the pests. You just
Well,
give them all the
figure out
alcohol they can
whether he's
handle.
doing pest control or running moonshine.
Combination.
It'll kill bugs. I learned
Yeah,
that in Arkansas. Yeah. All right, let's here's a rundown. We're going to hear about the youth camp ADA put on over the weekend. Mike's going to talk a little bit about the opportunities for youth through the Goodyear Bass Club. Jeff's going to share his trip. We got some nice pictures from Jeff, you know, whacking some nice fish up there with a fly rod. And Alan's going to share with us some of the things that the AMVCC does. Really involved in the community, attend a lot of events. We've got just a ton of stuff coming up, you know, the next few weeks. We're just screaming. So let's start off with you, John. What was the attendance at the youth camp?
Well, as of last night, we had 27 individuals, Utes that had their tags, who checked in and registered with the ADA up at the top. So out of the north end, we had 27 kids who came through out of the 175 tags. All of them received some gifts. All of them recognized the fact that it was a funding by the Arizona Sportsman for Wildlife Conservation and the ADA.
Bless their hearts.
Had some dandy bucks come through, a couple of really nice muleys and a really nice coos deer. The coos deer scored about 110.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And basically we had, I will say this, between Renee and Dave Bruns and Amy and Dominic Lopano and Rick Miller and Joe Allen, we had a crew up there that just kept cooking, have a great time, talked to everybody. Everybody felt comfortable. We had out awnings and everything else. It rained on and off, which was really, really nice. Oh, yeah. The weather was great. The elk were still screaming. They were bugling all over the place. We counted between one ridge and another, we had over close to 200 elk.
Holy smokes.
All over the place. And those cows and the bulls were just going nuts. So, and yes, we were able to sort out. We even found some deer in there.
Nice. Now, the kids that had tags, did the ADA furnish mentors, or did they bring their own?
Most of the time, they were with their dads. You know, there were a lot of ladies that were hunting, which was really great to see. I mean, we had young ladies out there, and a couple of them, you know, were decent enough to whack a nice deer. But every one of them had somebody who was able to help. Dave Bruns, I know, had a couple people who he called who were friends. There was one guy who didn't know the unit at all, and his
Dave
friend,
has a friend?
yeah,
Really?
yeah. But he was able to turn the people on, and they were able to get some nice looks. Everybody saw deer, which was really cool. Nobody had not
That's good
seen
stuff.
deer.
I'm turning a page in my personal history book. After the show, I'm picking up my 14-year-old granddaughter. We're going down to Sportsman's Warehouse, and she is purchasing her first hunting license.
Oh, congrats.
Then we go back to the computer, and we put in for the spring turkey and javelina hunt.
Has she had hunter's ed yet?
Not yet, but she's going.
That's you know what? It's turning out to be one of the hardest things around because they've lost so many of the hunter ed
Well,
instructors.
Woody Farnsworth, Youth Outdoors Unlimited, we put Mason, my oldest grandson, through the online course, and I appreciate technology if I can figure it out, but I'm not a real advocate of hunter safety and gun safety on the computer.
No, they don't get it as much.
No, we put him through that, and then Donnie took him up to Woody's youth camp after that, so he's real proficient on gun safety, and
that's for me, that's critical. As long
Yeah.
as the kids, if they're going to be out there, they better have that hunter ed instructor.
same thing. Mike, what's happening on the Goodyear Bath U side?
Well, we're getting down to the final qualifying for our divisionals.
Nice.
We're part of BASS, the national organization, and Arizona is an affiliate, just like about 48 other states here in the United States. And Goodyear Bass is the sponsoring club for the high school program. And over the past 6 months, the high school program has expanded with Bass, and now they've put together their national championship, their first annual national championship, which took place back in Tennessee this past July. We sent two of our best anglers there, and so now we're in the process of moving forward with our schedule. The process, it was a little confusing. It used to have to qualify during the year, take your two best anglers. They would fish with the state team, the adults, at a divisionals. And then those kids, those high school anglers, if they won, they were fishing against 10 other states in the West. If they won there, they would go then to nationals. And then there's 6 divisions in the United States. So
Have these kids figured out the only people they have to beat is themselves?
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Right. So now they don't have to go through the process of divisionals in order to qualify for the national championship. We can just send 2 teams of 2 anglers to the national championships, which takes place every July now. But we still go through the process where we have to determine who those top anglers are. We keep track of that, and we have like 5 tournaments during the year.
Nice.
They get one throw out just like the adults do. We put them on a boat with either some of our members or some of the local pros here in town. We call them local pros because most of the guys like Matt Shura, Bob Urchike, Johnny Johnson, Ken Larrabee, who's also currently the director.
That's got to be putting, some kind of a punishment, putting a kid on a boat with Johnny Johnson all day.
Well, Johnny's
saying.
part of the state team.
I love the guy, but holy crap.
The team for Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah.
But he hasn't come out yet to help us because his schedule's so busy. But we're trying to get him on board, to come out and help us with these anglers. And these high school kids, they're not just kids that come out. And
They're tough.
They're tough.
Absolutely.
They know what they're doing. We also have a youth program which feeds into the high school program, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders.
We'll talk more about that as we go through. I want to get to Jeff here, the vice president of the AMVCC, I might add.
Thank you.
Indeed. We've got a lot of talk about with you two guys. You just got back from Montana on a fly fishing excursion, and we've got an awful lot of stuff from the AMVCC, and I want to thank both of you guys publicly for what you do with the AMVCC. It's and Mike and John and all the other guys that are involved with these organizations that do stuff, putting a lot of stuff into the community. We've got the VA parade coming up SRP's got some stuff. We've got a muster from the Arizona National Guard coming up, and parades here, car shows there, and not unlike a bass tournament or a youth camp, there's usually a hot dog involved.
I saw several hundred this weekend, yeah.
Has anybody shared this with Oscar Mayer?
They should.
I mean, between Dunkin' Donuts and Oscar Mayer, where would we be without them? So, anyway, back to you. Real quick, we got a couple minutes before we flip into a break. Where'd you go up in Montana?
Montana, we ended up at a place called Hamilton, Montana, which is probably about an hour south of Missoula. And the Bitterroot Valley and the Bitterroot River flows through there. We were on a 1,500-mile journey up the Great Western Trail from Arizona through Utah and Idaho, and then finally our destination in Montana.
Wow.
At my friend's brewery, the Bitterroot Brewery.
I knew there was alcohol involved.
There was.
You gotta love this guy.
There's beer and food waiting for us, and a nice lodge house to stay in, and ended up going to Glacier National Park the day that they were shutting down for the winter.
I have to
season.
ask, did you see bears?
Did you hear howling?
Neither.
Really?
There was a bear exhibit on the way in I could have stopped at, but other than that, no bears.
All righty, having said that, we're going to stand down and do some business with some of our sponsors. Build It, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. If you're looking for a vehicle, now's the time. I'm Don McDowell with
Special K.
And
Mike Hoffarth.
Jeff Abrahamson.
Alan Thurston.
the president.
And I ain't got time for you. Well, I ain't got time to mow the lawn or fix the roof where the rain pours in. And your suggestion is out of the question that I.
All righty, we're back. Boy, Buck Owens. There's a flashback. We're going to get to Jeff and Alan. What vehicle do you have that you bring to all the events?
I've got a 1943 Willys Jeep, Army Green, and ready
Willys
to roll.
Overland.
Yeah, I'm thinking he needs to
I need an off-road
be part
vehicle.
of the group so we have something to go elk hunting in.
I agree.
Night. How about yourself, Alan?
I've actually got a 1942 Willys Jeep, so it's just a little bit older than Jeff's, but also Army Green, kind of a common thing, I suppose, among those, but it's a lot of fun. Been out four-wheeling, and I'm enjoying it as much as I can.
Is it your first one?
Yes. Yeah, actually, it was originally owned by my grandfather. He bought it in...
Really?
Yeah, he bought it in 1960. Used it as a hunting and fishing vehicle. And after a while, ended up falling into disrepair. You know, the fuel system needed to be rebuilt, all that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so then I came along, found it, and my dad and I ended up restoring it, and that's how I ended up with it. So...
And what about the hunting and fishing? It doesn't get to go anymore?
Well, it goes from time to time. You know, it's always nice to have a vehicle with a heater. That's always a little more comfortable.
Well, in Arizona, that's a real hot item. Yeah.
Well, you know, when you're going up hunting, I know of a lot of times when it's really cold in the morning, and usually you're getting up when it's still dark outside.
Yeah,
so.
buddy, you know, Mr. Prius over here is kind of scoffing at the no-heater thing. Let me tell you something. We spent a week up there in 6B, 4 feet of snow with no heater in the Jeep. It went out, and
That's not fun.
Man, it was cold.
Yep.
It should never snow inside a vehicle.
Yeah, boy, I'm telling you. Know what's interesting about my 5-ton? The heater didn't work, and Pat and I were working on trying to get it ready for a javelina hunt. We found a 1954 Chrysler heater motor bolts right in. Wires right up. Go figure.
See? You could have done that. You should have done that earlier. Had you known, you wouldn't have spent those 4 days freezing your butt off.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, it's all good. Let's talk a little bit about the AMBCC. How many members are there actively? I know there's a bunch on the books, but...
Well, we have a bunch on the books, but active, I would say it's about 40, 55. Usually we have a good crew that shows up every month for the meeting. I know that any meeting you go to, there's a lot of the same faces. We have a lot of people who are not able to make it due to work. Some people, it gets kind of late, other conflicts, and you only see them at different events. But
they don't have hall passes.
No, unfortunately not. But it's a good way to meet a lot of the guys who are in the same interests as you. Always a lot to talk about. So
I have to do a poll. The green thing is always good, but I'm trying to break the mold with the the Iraqi tan.
Yeah, we've got a few of those.
So how many tan do we have versus green?
Oh,
I wouldn't expect you as president to know that. I would expect the vice president to be up on those statistics.
That would be 13.
Thank you. On his feet, man, I'm telling you. That's all good. Yeah. Now, there was an event yesterday at Scottsdale Pavilion.
Yes. We had a display at Scottsdale Pavilions. If you've ever been there, it's a weekly car show. I think they've been doing it for 20 to 30 years, actually, every Saturday.
Wow.
Even when it's raining, even when it's hot, there's usually one or two guys that end up showing up. But we ended up going out there, about 5-6 of us there, a couple big trucks, a couple Jeeps, so a good selection for the folks. It's always a good thing to go to a car show when you see all these classic Bel Airs and Impalas, and then you got this big
and then
green.
we show up.
Yep, then we show up. So
was Matt there with his apartment on wheels?
No, he didn't make it, but there was certainly a few big.
He's got
big
one of those
trucks.
15-ton Oshkosh. Oh my gosh! Oh crap! That's a really big truck.
Yeah,
that would have been tough to fit in a parking spot. They wanted us to put the vehicles in individual parking spots, so we had to shuffle around a little bit.
Nice.
It worked out, though. I think everyone had a good time.
Well, I'm really amazed at these promoters. I've seen this a couple of times. I think the worst time I was really annoyed. We went rolling out there for whatever it was, and the guy from the Cardinal Stadium walked out and goes, "Oh my God, I didn't know they were so large." So we couldn't go on the grass, but they had a tractor and trailer beer truck, 40-foot van loaded full of beers, and they wouldn't let us park on the grass. It's like,
yeah, it's always interesting what you run into when you got the big trucks, the 5 tons and the, Oshkosh and all that. It's, you get these challenges. Like one event we did a couple of 4th of Julys ago, they wanted our vehicles in a certain location, but we couldn't get the big trucks over. It was like at a golf course, and there was a concrete walkway that went over this little water feature, and the big trucks couldn't go over because they had a weight limit.
Drive through the water feature.
Exactly.
Crush the water feature.
So
you're not driving through, you're crushing it.
There's always another way around it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I really enjoy this particular group of folks, and I mean, there's so many interesting characters. Albert Turner, sweet guy.
Yeah.
Bill Robeson. They show up. He's got 5-ton wreckers and a wrecker pulling a bit. It's just like, I don't know what President Obama's really worried about. If he were to call us,
we'd all buy him, right?
We're ready. We're ready. We're like Oscar Mayer, man. We're ready to roll out now.
Absolutely.
Every weekend we're rolling out doing something. I mean, we're looking for stuff to do, right?
Yeah.
Can't see, can't hear, can't
I think
shoot
we ought
straight.
to go to Iraq.
Oh, here we go. World War III has just begun.
No, I'm going to get off that. It's too serious of a subject. We've got roll call here, and we'll explain why here in a little bit. What's the next big event coming up for the AMVCC?
Oh, we have plenty of events coming up. Alan can read through them, and we have no shortage of places to go for the next month.
Yeah, it's always funny. The months of July and August, not a whole lot going on, but as soon as the weather temperatures drop, it seems like there's all sorts of events, and obviously with Veterans Day coming up and December 7th, There's a lot of events that we participate in. The most recent one that we got coming up, it's on October 18th. It's called the Touch a Truck event at the Westgate City Center. And what that one does is it's not only military vehicles, but also things like ambulances, fire trucks, cop cars. They have a whole bunch of stuff, and it's catered to young kids, first grade, fourth grade, things like that, so that they can actually climb up, move around, and see what they're all about. The time on that one, it's Saturday, October 18th, 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. So
very cool.
Looks like a pretty awesome event. And it's actually, my correction, it's at the Paradise Valley Mall. So
fun stuff. Yeah, I had my... I'm on my second military vehicle. I had a dooz and half out at Garden Lakes, and I turned my back to go use the restroom and get coffee. And when I came back, they had answered the question on how many fifth graders will a dooz and half hold in the cab. Answer is 13.
Wow.
And they can go through 120 pounds of air blowing the horn while you're in the men's room.
Nice.
Yeah. All righty, we're going to stand down. When we come back, we'll visit with Mike on some of the youth opportunities, and if you want to know how to fish, he's the guy to do it. I'm Don McDowell.
Special K.
Mike Hoffarth.
Jeff Abrahamson.
Alan Thurston.
And we'll be back.
Well, they call me the fireman. That's my name.
All righty, we're back. A couple things... little housekeeping. On the 14th is the spring Hazy GFD deadline to get your spring permits in for javelina and turkey.
Have you put in?
I'm going to do that this afternoon with my grandkids.
I'm already locked and loaded.
Very good, very good. How many grandkids you got in?
None.
Want to borrow some?
Yeah. I can wait till mine gets to that age. No.
You got a couple coming up.
10 years.
Let's see. Rumor has it the northern Colorado River region will be receiving trout very soon. Small game seasons, it's happening.
Oh, I heard more 22 shots yesterday during the day. Pow, 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 pow.
Yeah, if you're a squirrel, you're
in a world of hurt.
Yeah. And then there's 4 public forums. You can go to azgfd.gov, and if you're interested in the hunt recommendations on the elk and the pronghorn. And
what's the deadline for that comment period?
They're actually having
the meetings.
The meetings, yeah. The 16th, there's one in Flagstaff, 6 to 8 out on Lake Mary Road at the Flag Regional Office. There's one in Kingman. I'm sure there's a mobile home lot there where they can...
A double wide.
Yeah,
that's the office
Kingman
up
Regional
there.
Office. Just kidding. 23rd Mesa Regional Office, and then one up in Pine Top on the 23rd as well. Those are all start at 6 to 8 p.m. And it's an opportunity to get your 2 cents worth in on what you'd like to see.
There will be some changes. Comments always make it happen.
Yeah. What's up with the bonus points?
The conservation bonus point? We're going to find out from Commissioner Davis why there was no action taken on it, and they're passing on it at this
Okay,
this
why don't you
term.
explain that? Mr. Hoffarth has a puzzled look on his face.
The conservation bonus point is something that we've been pushing on for the better part of a decade now.
1995?
Well, I wrote it in December of 1993, the proposal. But we've been actively pushing on it as an organization since around 2002, 2003. And basically what we're saying is that if somebody puts 20 hours on projects on the ground, that they get a conservation bonus point. And each year they have to maintain 8 hours in the field so that they maintain that bonus point. And it's a way of people understanding the complexities that are out there with, number 1, wildlife, and number 2, land, and number 3, water, which are the key features.
And access.
And access.
I mean, how many fence projects have we done?
Way too many. I mean, I've rolled more than 5 miles of barbed wire over the years.
And you did a fine job.
4 strand.
Yes.
I have the scars to prove it. So, but you've worked on water with me. We've worked on barbed wire together. It's
you ever think about getting the AMVCC up there with trucks and just hooking onto the fence post and taking off down the road?
I was curious.
Drag it down to the...
If you hooked up all 4 strands of barbed wire, how fast could you get going on a big 5-ton and rip out that stuff that we spend a whole day doing?
I'm in.
Let's roll.
Yeah.
Roll. I could just see what the forest would look like afterwards.
Well,
It'll look like chaining by the time we were done with it.
yeah, don't even get me started on the water hole projects. I'm good on, but the fence projects, the Forest Service puts it up, and then somebody else has got to go take it down.
Actually, no. It's the cattle, the grazing allotment. The grazing allotment permittees are the ones who put up most of those 4 strands.
Then I have to ask the question, with all due respect, as eloquently as I can. Then why the hell don't they go take it down?
Because they've either died, passed away, or forest fires came through that we have to remove them and put in new. They put in the new. We have to take out
You're
the
starting
old.
to sound like a Democrat.
Excuse me?
They have to be...
Hey, watch your mouth.
Yeah, okay. My apologies.
Good Lord,
It's
man.
starting to.
I'm going to tell my mom you said that.
Okay, Mike, any thoughts on that? Is that something that we could utilize in the fishing industry?
Well, of course. We've been fighting that for years, too, with the BASS and community service projects. We try to encourage all of our high school anglers as well that they have to do community service. We have the same thing on the adult side, but it just seems as though they're only focused on one thing, and that's fishing.
They want to go fishing.
And it's so sad that they just feel as though they can't give back to the community. And we have in place on the adult side that you have to have 2 community service projects completed.
Out of 52 weeks, that shouldn't be a big deal.
Well, that's the way I explain it, too. You got 3 hours for one community service project minimum, so it's 6 hours. I don't know how many hours are in a year, but that's usually how I explain it to them. You mean you can't spend 6 hours, out of thousands of hours in a 365-day-a-year time frame. You can't give back that little bit. Well, I get, scolded about saying it, but I said, well, if you can't give that, then we don't want you as part of our organization. And we feel as though,
That's a fair statement.
You
Seriously.
have to help out.
Got to give back a little bit.
You don't want to be negative, but if you can't do this little thing right here, which is part of, giving back to the community, it's not just about fishing. It's about community service, our youth, and conservation.
Well, more and more we're seeing, the Park Service and the Forest Service and this service and that service, they're depending on the private sector to go out and do stuff in the field.
I know.
When you look at the Parks and Rec, man, they've got a whole bunch of Starbuck projects out there. And, I kind of look at the AMVCC, albeit we go out and have a lot of fun, but, the membership with the commitment they have to the vehicles and the preservation of the vehicles, engaging the public. I mean, there's not a guy out there, your Jeep, the trucks, the veterans that engage in discussion on that is just amazing. I mean, the stories that I've heard are just, some of them are pretty amusing, but at the end of the day, there's some that, wow. It's all good, though.
I agree. It's hard to take any one of our vehicles out without hearing amazing stories or, stories about, what I did with this vehicle at what time. So, yeah.
By the way, Don, just so you know, there's 8,765 hours in a year.
Unless it's leap year, yeah. I got it.
That's from your brother. Don't go.
I already have that right here. But he's quite the bookkeeper. Mike will call you on that. So
thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
He'll want a receipt. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, just going to the pavilions last night. You kind of attract a crowd of all ages where people can relate to maybe having a family member that was in the service,
exactly,
being in the service themselves, trying to keep the kids out of the Jeep. You have all age groups.
That's a problem.
My dad loves those Jeeps, those Willys Jeeps.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, he rode around in enough of them.
Now, Jeff, last night, I didn't quite catch it, but I saw you were letting a lady sit in the Jeep and take pictures. What was that all about?
Well, she had looked at your Jeep and saw that it was a slat grill, and so she was more interested in the 43. And her
Fighting words.
her father had been in World War II, and I guess he was there just after the war, and he got to drive a priest all around Europe in a Jeep and had many pictures, and so she wanted to take a picture and send it back to him. I would imagine he's in his late 80s, 90 years old.
He's got to be in his 90s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Speaking of being in their 90s, how is your dad doing?
He's doing fine.
He's a World War II guy, Battle of the Bulge on the ground, winner of 43 and 44. Awesome individual.
And he is probably the most stress-free individual I've ever known. I mean, life just rolls at him, and he takes it just as it comes. Happy-go-lucky.
As you get to know him, he'll say, "Did you want to feel the shrapnel in my back?"
That's how you know you're friends?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's a pretty cool guy. Yeah. We had him over on a fishing event we did with the military, and I asked him, Mr. Colazar, how are you doing? He said, I'm doing well. Did I tell you about World War II?
That's my dad.
I go, no, but I'd sure like to hear it. He goes, do you think I could have a half a glass of beer before I do? I said, Mr. Colazar, I will get you a whole pitcher. He goes, nope, Mom knows if I have more than a half a glass. So he had half a glass of beer, and boy, we went.
You know, you just outed my father. Mom listens.
Oh.
Sorry, Dad.
The good news is I only gave him a half a glass.
I know.
That was it.
What service was he in?
He was in the Army. He was in the Army, and he was over there for, I think it was 29 months. And he was in the Army for 38, something like that. But he was in Europe for 29 months.
There were some big losses on the American side during the Battle of the Bulge.
Oh, yeah.
Huge losses. Yeah.
Yeah. He got to watch a lot of it. He's like he said, you know, he remembers that very vividly because they almost froze to death. He had frostbite.
Yeah.
Wow.
My hat's off to him. I don't know how any of them made it through. It's hard to make it through the winter with the new technology and clothing that we have today, in boots and socks and hand warmers and all that.
Yeah. Extra socks.
Having said that, we're going to stand down when we come back. We're going to finish up some housekeeping, and we have roll call for October 12th over in theater. I'm Don McDowell. We'll be right back. All righty, we're back. Mike, when's the next youth event coming up?
We got our next and final youth event to determine who our divisional 2 anglers will be, and that'll be out at Saguaro Lake on Sunday, October 20. What's that? The 6th, 26th.
October 25th.
Is it 25th?
Yeah.
Just flip this page over here. I got it here. I got 2 different. Yep. No, Sunday the 26th.
Oh, Sunday the 26th.
Yeah.
I thought it was Saturday. Yeah.
Sunday the 26th. We do them on we get people saying, well, why do you do them on Sundays? Well, most of the anglers fish on Saturday in tournaments and stuff like that, so we get a better turnout to have what we call boat captains show up and help us, on a Sunday, even though it's Sunday and it's church and it's family day. Well,
yard work.
It is family day. We get a lot of the parents come out and they hang out with us after we have what we call boat captains, or the guys that own the boats, and we have non-boaters, guys that don't have boats, but they come out and help, and they grab the trucks that the guys have and drop the boats in, and we come back and we get different things set up. During the day, we'll maybe do a lake cleanup while we're there, get some food ready. When it's time to do weigh-in, we only have about a 5.5 hour tournament. We don't want those anglers out there too long. They're still kids.
Sure.
Go back, grab their truck, get them out of the water, have a weigh-in, have some food.
Hot dogs.
We've kind of gotten away from hot dogs. We're doing better stuff now. Like we do.
Don't tell me tofu or you're out of here.
No, we do like sloppy joes, or we do chili.
Okay.
Or we do like spaghetti. Because it's kind of easy.
He
prep everything.
I have to
warm it up.
He's one of the main guys. He's one of the main cooks over at the Knights of Columbus.
Oh.
Monday night spaghetti dinner.
Nutritional supplement.
Yeah, my wife been cooking it all day yesterday. A big 10-gallon pot, and we're going to do another 5 gallons. She's cooking today. So she's Italian, so she makes really good sauce. Some people call it gravy, but it's a sauce.
Oh,
so that's, we do get a good turnout for this these high school events. And,
how do these kids get involved?
well, really right now it's word of mouth. We have to be a little careful. We don't want to advertise too much because if we get too many anglers, we don't have enough boat captains, and we don't want to have somebody show up and not be able to put them on the water. So right now it's pretty much word of mouth. And unfortunately, it's really not a grassroots type thing right now. We do have anglers that want to come out. We have to kind of go through a little bit of a process to make sure they know the difference between a bait caster and a spinning rod, a little bit about, baits and bait selection, just because they are fishing to try to qualify for the state team to represent. So, but we're not going to turn anybody down. We'll work with these other anglers who come out that are kind of green, and we'll work with them. We'll just kind of put them with a boat captain who can try to work with them more. The ones that are competing in this competition, they're pretty much on their own. We'll help. We can help them. We want to help them because it is a learning thing. We want to teach them how to, of course, boat safety, how to use the trolling motor, how to use the depth finders, some of the equipment, because when they do go and compete at a national level, the boat captain cannot help them. They'll pre-fish, take notes, do waypoints, do stuff like that. They do get one time out, which is kind of interesting. During the day, they can get one time out where they can take 5 minutes where the boat captain can say, hey, look, guys, you're not, catching too many fish. Here's my information that we should, pass along to you, and then they can take that information. And then after that 5-minute timeout, that's it. The boat captain can't do anything. No sign language, no notes. At least they're not supposed to. So they're pretty much on their own.
Yeah.
But that's what it's all about. And again, that part leads into, teaching our high school kids how to fish so that then they can move on. Bass is, starting now they've got the high school program going, they've got the college program, and it works right into the adult program. They get a Bass membership number.
Cool.
And everything. So they're really working hard for that.
I think we're going to see the National Guard has an interest in getting re-engaged in the high school fishing.
That's not a bad thing.
For them, it's a good thing. It's good for it's good for everybody. It's win-win, and they're going through some budget restraints and budget cuts thanks to the Obama administration. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but the National Guard nationally has been rolled back to status that we saw about 1943, 1944.
Reduction.
Yeah, reduction. The 285th out here is losing their Apache helicopters. They have to give them to the regular Army because they don't have money to buy parts or whatever. I mean, it's just a bad thing. So maybe we should make a membership application to the Arizona National Guard to be members.
I suppose it's possible we could do that.
We definitely have an open membership for anyone that wants to join.
There you do. What's dues? Annual dues?
$35 for new members. $30 every year after that.
Very cool.
That helps pay for the insurance and the club meetings and the show that we put on once a year.
Well, that was my next question. Give us a rundown on the big show, if you would.
Well, every year we do a big show because it's important to have something come together with a whole bunch of vehicles. A lot of people coming out. This year our show is going to be January 24th and 25th. And it's going to be at the Metro Center Mall. Like if anyone had been to our show last year, it was also at the Metro Center Mall. Last year, I think we counted somewhere around 60 to 70 vehicles. So
that was a good show.
Yeah,
it really was.
A lot of vendors, a lot of stuff you can buy like military clothes, old signs, old knives.
Yeah, I mean going clear back to World War I,
II, and
Vietnam era, Korea.
I didn't even mention parts for vehicles, used parts. Guy drives up with a flatbed trailer with wheels and fenders and who knows what. So it's a great place if you are restoring a vehicle to find parts, and if you're an enthusiast and just want to come for a good time, that's good too. So.
Yeah, and the show is definitely open for members and non-members of people that own military vehicles. We have an open gate policy, and if they want to display, we'll let them in and show it to the public.
How open is the policy actually? If a guy showed up wearing a tablecloth on his head with a 1991 Toyota pickup truck with the doors blown off, are we going to let him in?
Like any good business, we have the right to refuse service.
Okay. Yeah, a Toyota pickup truck being a tactical vehicle is just wrong. But we're having to fight them.
But I got to say, we don't have any members with Apache helicopters, so that might be a good addition to the show. We better get on the National Guard on that.
I will put a call into Sergeant Andy on that one.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. What's your next big event with the ADA?
Oh, we're probably going to wind up doing our banquet next spring. That's the biggest thing that we're going to wind up doing. And, of course, we'll be present at all the commission meetings since they're going to have them down here in the Valley for the rest of the year. So we'll be in attendance on all of those.
Okay. I know there's some board activity, membership information up on the revised ADA website is?
azdeer.org.
There you go. All righty. We're going to clean up some business here. We've got roll call for October the 12th, as we do every week. A little annoying to have to do it with all the stuff that we've got going on over there right now. One of the things that I can tell you, my 5-ton was affectionately named after the first military operation in Fallujah of April of 2004. Vigilant Resolve. We lost a number of soldiers over there, and we've also lost Fallujah back to ISIS or the Islamic State, and it's a shame what's going on, and I'm going to leave it go at that. You guys figure it out. Roll call for October the 12th. We're going to start with Army Sergeant First Class Andrew T. Weathers, died September 30th, 2014. Serving during Operation Enduring Freedom, 30 years old, out of DeRidder, Louisiana, was assigned to the 2nd Battalion, 7th Special Forces, which is an airborne group out of Elgin Air Force Base, Florida. Was killed, or actually died in Germany at the hospital there September 30th from wounds suffered by small arms fire on September 28th in Helmand Province, Afghanistan. John?
Army Major Jonathan D. Walker died October 1st, 2014, serving during Operation Enduring Freedom. He was 44 years old of Merriam, Kansas, assigned to Headquarters and Headquarters Company, 4th Psychological Operations Group Airborne out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina. He died October 1st at Camp Az-Saliyah, Doha, Qatar, of non-combat related illnesses.
As always, our thoughts and prayers out to their families and the units that these guys served with. It's a price of freedom. For you last week, give it some thought. I'm Don McDowell. We'll be back.
Watch out, boys. Fast Daddy Don's gonna make some noise. Me and the boys gonna shake, rattle, and
Now, here's your host, saltwater fisherman, the man that fears no fish, Bass Daddy and Tournament Pro, Don McDowell.
All righty, hey, I'm Don McDowell. Thanks for joining the second hour of Shake, Rattle, and Troll today. We've got the president and the vice president of the Arizona Military Vehicle Collectors Club in the house. We have the president. We have a lot of presidents today.
Yes, we do.
You're the president. Mike Koffarth, president of Goodyear Bath. Special K over here, president of the ADA. Wow.
See?
I'm not
Royalty.
president of anything.
Yes, you are.
No.
Aren't you?
Nah.
Oh, you passed on that one already.
No, I passed on. I don't want to be president. Anyway, here's what we're going to do. At 8:30, we'll be talking to James Guggenauer, our master rod builder from Rim Country Custom Rods, and I'm going to talk to him about building Jeff a brand new fly rod, custom built.
Nice.
And Mike's going to talk a little bit about lizards. on the saltwater side of life right now, the fishing is still holding solid. At this time of the month in October, it's
Skipjack City,
little scratchy, but the Malahini boat's still whacking yellowtail out at the islands. They hooked up with a wahoo, and what in the world a wahoo is doing this far north is beyond me.
Really?
Historically, yeah, they'll get 455 miles from San Diego, and now they're 12. I don't get it, but a lot of stuff going on out there I don't understand. The day boats, we had 3 boats out yesterday, 64 anglers. Dorado count was way up, 72 Dorados, 91 yellowfin, no yellowtail were caught, which is a mystery because they're still there. The Sea Adventure was out the first day of a 2.5-day trip. They had 31 anglers. They whacked 155 yellowfin, 62 Dorado. Top Gun 80, another really cool boat. 33 guys out, same thing, second day of a 2.5-day. They've got over 100 each of yellowfin, Dorado, and yellowtail on board, and those counts are pretty consistent as we look at all. The Daiwa Pacific, 13 guys had a good day, 65 yellowfin, 26 Dorados. Yum.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
yum. It's just good stuff. So we'll talk to Rick over at the H&M tackle shop about 8:15. But Mike, you got some Larry the Lizards over there, one of my favorite lizards. What's up with that?
Well,
how'd you get lizards?
Well, I met Larry basically through you about 5 years ago when he came to Phoenix from Lake Fork, where he had his lizards and worms and frogs that he manufactures. Of course, he's got a really cool design, and he became a Bass member. Joined Goodyear Bass, one of our sponsors for our youth programs, comes out and helps out and provides his product to these high school anglers for free. He's in a situation where he's a mom and pop organization, and he asked if I could kind of help him out with the business aspect. So we're trying to get that kind of.
That's because he's worn his mom and pop out.
Yeah, his parents can only do so much. We all know that. I did take exception to some of these products that he has because they're really good. I mean, the design's great. You can get on his website, LarryTheLizardCustomBaits.com. And we're trying to most of the stuff he sells now is via his internet sales. He is at Sportsman's Warehouse, Phoenix Fishing Supply. And but he's just a mom and pop, so he's got to try to raise some money doing it all himself. I'm trying to help him a little bit. I think that's one of the best lizards
on the market. I think his design with those ridges for water displacement and the sound chamber in there.
Yeah, the sound chamber is what I love.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's got on the right all the ribs and what that does to create vibration in the water. And then on the bottom side of it, it's got that sled kind of looking thing, which makes it glide through the water. Mm-hmm. And it is the chamber with the rattle in it that is very unique. And the one that he has that he calls a frog has got, the rattle in both of the legs.
That's kind of a multi-purpose bait.
Right. You can use it. You can jig with it if you want. Put it on a jig head with a skirt and use it that way. You can pop it up and down.
I'm sorry, we don't allow skirts in the bass boat.
No skirts? Okay.
No skirts in the bass boat.
No.
Or you can just use it like a topwater bait and run it across the top, because those legs, when they flutter, it's got the rattles in it and it creates a lot of noise. So, he's got a unique design for his products, and it is neat that there still are some mom and pop companies out there that manufacture, baits out there other than the big manufacturers.
Sure.
So if we can help support.
Rumor has it he's going to start doing a 10-inch lizard. Is that correct?
Well, he's got 10-inch lizards out on the market.
Okay.
The big 10-inch, he's got those. He's got the 10-inch and the 6-inch. And then he has the frogs. And then he's got worms, a 7-inch worm and a 10-inch worm too. But again, he's been trying to manufacture these himself, and it's just too hard to do it with today's market out there. It makes it almost impossible when you're trying to shoot in a single cavity mold.
Especially, you're getting start getting in these national chains. Sportsman's awesome place to be. You can't keep up.
No, so we're trying to purchase these 24 cavity molds, and he's got a company down in Florida that shoots them. They've got all the equipment and stuff. That's who does his lizards for him because it's more cost effective.
Oddly enough, Mexico is playing into the soft plastic pretty hard. Jeff, let's talk a little bit about your Bitterroot experience. How'd you do?
I did fine. Are you talking about the fishing or the Great Western Trail? Because it was a series
of we want to stay on the fishing here.
The fishing, okay. These guys in Hamilton, Montana love their fly fishing. And as you're driving through town, you see everybody's hauling a drift boat and fly rods everywhere, all the fishing supplies at any gas station or convenience store that you're there.
Nice.
What we do is we'll take the boats upstream and put them in. There's a middle oarsman and the two fishermen on both sides of the boat. And you drift down the river looking for what they call the slurp, which is, fish feeding on the surface. Whatever hatch they're having with an insect is what they're concentrating on as what fly they're going to be fishing with. As we're coming down the river, they're looking for the eddies and the debris that's in the river, and they are just aggressively throwing that fly.
What kind of fish are you targeting?
I caught a brown trout, and there was
that was a nice brown too.
Thank you.
By the way. Yeah.
They had caught in rainbow, and I'm not. It was my third time fly fishing, so I had to. When something got hung up on my equipment, I'd have to hand it over to them and have them tie the fly. So I'd like to get more proficient.
Being a fly fisherman, do y'all call that a backlash?
No.
Unfamiliar with that. Every time they have a good flow in the river, the river changes in its direction. There's debris that you have to float by, and sometimes the oarsman is working it pretty hard, and other times he's just setting you up in a spot, and we're continuing to fish. Halfway down, we'll find a nice bank somewhere and pull over and have our sandwiches, and we all have waders on, and these guys, especially the guys that are rowing, which are probably the experts, they can't wait to get and stand in the river where they've chosen, and they were pulling fish out left and right. It was it was incredible. Beautiful river, a lot of deer and other wildlife. Didn't see any moose, but I'm definitely going back.
Got to watch for bears, and as J.K. pointed out, wolves. Wolves, yeah. Big problem with the wolves up there. All right, we're going to stand down. When we come back, we'll try to get a hold of Rick over on the saltwater side of life. I'm here with
Jeff Abrahamson,
Alan Thurston,
Mike Hoffarth,
President John Colazar,
Jr. We'll be right back. Nice. I think that should be the new national anthem right there. All right, hey, we're going to change gears, go to downtown San Diego, where the weather, like Payson, is always nice, with our buddy Ricky. What's happening over there?
Hey, man.
Hey, buddy.
Fish. It's really good fishing down here.
I got to ask you, what in the world was that Wahoo thinking, being that far north?
It's not the only one. We've got about 12 of them so far.
Man.
First one we got on a 3/4-day boat, but
I'm stunned.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Nice fish too, about 40 pounds. I don't know if you went to Facebook and looked at that or not.
No, I was reading it on the report.
Yeah, pretty cool. Everybody there is pretty stoked to see that. The guy caught it on the troll, but there's been quite a few guys been out there and got cut off. And going, what in the world? I know Ocean Odyssey came in today, and tough tuna fishing where they were at, but really incredible Dorado fishing. 20, 30-pound fish, and his brother was on the boat with him. He threw out a jig next to a kelp patty. Was winding in, they watched this wahoo come off the kelp patty, swim right by, eat the jig, and just keep going without even getting hooked. Just cut that jig right off and kept going.
Boy.
So if you're going to fish these days, a little wire doesn't hurt.
Unbelievable. Yeah, they've got a mouthful of teeth. It's scary to death.
Mouth's as hard as a countertop, and those teeth are sharp like a razor.
Well, it looks like the Sea Adventure 80 with their 31 anglers are just whacking the yellowfin, and the Dorado numbers are awesome.
Oh yeah, he's already got limits for Dorado. He's actually leaving Mexico right now. He's going up north trying for some bluefin because they've got so many of the yellowfin in the Dorado. They're really showing their customers a really good time again.
How far north are they going to have to run for the blues?
They're going to make a 140-mile move.
Wow.
They're going up to the Cortez, so.
Really?
Hopefully it'll be worth it, and they'll really get them there, because there's been some big bluefin, nice quality stuff, so.
Well, it sounds good. I'm pretty excited to see the numbers still holding, going into the latter part of October. Do you think they'll hold into the first part of November?
Yeah, I think they probably will. I'm kind of hoping to see when I sneak out, but it's getting near that time of year where things are starting to change a little bit. You see it happening, so. Yeah,
let me ask you this. One other thing I noticed on the more than one day trips, we're not seeing a lot of yellowtail. Where are those guys going?
Yellowtail's on 3/4 day. It kind of slowed down the last couple of days, but before that we were having counts of 100, 150 fish. And there's still a lot of fish down there. The islands are just kind of upside down right now. The current's going one way, the wind's blowing another way, and its water's a little off color. But on the times when they found that turn around, like the afternoons have been better bite, that's when they're getting their fish.
Well, there's been a lot of stuff. There's been a lot of weather stirring up in the Gulf and pounding down, moving north from Socorro. Is there a lot of new patties floating around, more so than we have seen?
Well, there's not a lot of patties out there. You'll find. I know last couple of weeks when everybody was just killing the yellowfin, there was one patty that was holding fish. There were two schools of fish out there, big schools, but they're all under one patty or the other. So, and if you didn't find those patties, you didn't find anything.
Crazy.
Those boats were all working them in tandem.
Well, sounds good. We're going to wish you a good part of the day, and thanks for playing along with us, and we'll visit with you on next week. If you guys still want to go fishing, hmlanding.com or 619-222-1144, H&M Landing. They're the best. Rick, have a good day, buddy. All righty. Good news.
Yeah. As long as it's still holding good.
Wahoo's at the island.
That's unreal.
I've never heard of that I recall.
Opportunity. Look at it that way.
Jeff or Alan, have you guys had any offshore experience?
Yeah, I've gone to San Diego and got on the big cattle boat with everybody and went out for the 3-hour tour. About a quarter mile off of the shore.
I don't think that's what we're talking about.
Well,
3-hour tour.
You can.
Oh. Not going to do that.
How about you, Alan?
No offshore fishing experience for me, but it's something that I want to put on my list. So, yeah, I have always been intrigued as to what you can get. So
you need to do that before you get married.
Better do it pretty soon, I suppose.
They got another eyebrow over there.
Oh, yeah, those eyebrows both went up. Wing, wing.
Man.
You got the look.
Yeah, buddy. It's universal.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
How about you, Mike? Yellowtail in your history?
I've gone out a few times, but I don't really care for it. I don't take good to the wakes and swells and stuff like that. I have to either take Dramamine or one of those things. Ooh. That's not good. And then I'm kind of like a few of you guys around here. Anything that's in the water that can kill you, I don't want anything to do with it.
That's Mark Townsend. You will not get Mark Townsend ever, even on the dock. Not going.
Well, I was watching one of them fishing programs on the World Fishing Network yesterday that I purchased. I had to fight my wife to get that for $10 a month, but they were fishing
notes, Alan.
Somewhere over, I think, in Africa, and it was a striped bass looking thing, but it had teeth like
tigerfish.
Oh man, that thing was crazy.
There's a wolffish, tigerfish,
yeah, and
don't go in the water.
So anything that can get you, I don't even go swim in the ocean. So
there was a time in my life that if you started heating up, you go off the bass boat, get in the water. Loved it. I don't get in the water anymore. Alabama, Arkansas, Louisiana, Florida, Lake Pleasant, Roosevelt. I'm staying in the boat.
Well, gizzard shad don't have teeth.
There's biological things. The more you learn, the more you wish, damn, I wish I didn't know that.
Well, at least we don't have alligators here yet.
What about the one in Roosevelt?
That's just a mystery.
That is substantiated.
It's a legend.
The last report I got was from an off-duty police officer that asked, please don't mention my name, saw the alligator.
Please don't mention my name.
Alan's got a stunned look. Let me clarify this for you. You can't have a trailer park as big as the one at the Roosevelt Resort without having reptile collections.
That makes sense.
Go figure. I'm just saying.
So you're saying that one may or may not have gotten loose and is
well, there's a lot of things in life that are cute when they're little.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but when they start growing in length and teeth, and you go, let's just go put that in the pond.
Yeah.
Actually, this is what you really, if you were to look at it from an envirolitigant aspect, these are the long-lost descendants that have found their way back, and they've been submerged through Roosevelt all these years, made their way down the Salt River chain where they were hiding for hundreds of years.
From the San Carlos Apache Nation?
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's where they're coming from, so just so you know.
Well, Mike spends a lot of time fishing the Black. You've had some wonderful experiences over there.
Oh, the Black River's great. I mean, we've seen Coatimundi, raccoons.
Coatimundi, doesn't he play for the New York Jets?
Yeah.
Winnipeg Jets.
Winnipeg.
That happened about 2 years ago. We saw some ruckus going across. It was at night, full moon, and something going on, and we heard this ruckus and got out my spotlight, and I go, man, that's a raccoon. And then I started looking closer. No, they were Coatimundis, which was, I'd never seen them there before, but we've seen otter, and then, of course, we've seen all the other things, deer, antelope, bears.
There's a big push right now to get otters on a season.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that would be Scott Corcoran from the Southwest Fur Harvesters. Yeah.
Yep.
They're trying to get a...
Speaking of which, it's almost predator time.
Well, I got a text from him the other day. He whacked a turkey back in Missouri, so...
Oh, boy.
Yep. We'll check that out. Yeah, there's a lot of strange things going on. Just so you guys know, we're getting wolves put in Arizona and New Mexico. We don't want them, but we made a compromise. There is an initiative to reintroduce grizzly bears in Arizona.
I don't know, that sounds like a good idea.
I don't think any of it's a good idea.
I thought it would be a wonderful idea if they were to repopulate California first with as many as they had
around
prior
Sacramento.
to they had 10,000 grizz. It's on the California state flag. So when they recover grizzlies in California, then they can come talk to Arizona.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, it right now it's just there's a war on out there. We've got this the big issue with Wyoming is
they shut down the wolf hunt.
Well, I think they're going to go the way Montana and Idaho did legislatively to reverse what they've done and be able to manage under Section 6 their wolves. Still an awful lot of activity back in the south on coyote harvesting because of the hybridization of the red wolf and the coyotes and domestic dogs. They don't know what in the hell they've got, but they've got a whole bunch of them. And
they were sterilizing some of the females.
Oh, you can do that with
their
30,
territory.
30.
Well, yeah, but if they were sterilizing them and they kept them out of the area, then the wolves wouldn't come in because they're about the same size.
Where do they go? Starbucks?
That would be me, I guess. Yeah.
All righty. When we come back, we're going to visit with our favorite fly rod builder. You need to talk to this guy. He's got it all going on. James Guggenauer, Room Country Custom Rods. We'll be right back.
If he saw me out here fishing, guess I wouldn't stand so tall. He would take my big old bass and he'd hang it on the wall.
That's what I'm talking about right there. All righty, hey, we're going to join James Guggenauer in downtown Payson. Like San Diego, the weather's always really nice. James, what's happening, my man?
Hey, good morning, Don. How are things down there?
You know, life is good. I'm glad to be here, and I want to thank you and Clifford for sending me that autographed picture. That's pretty cool, and we appreciate we have that hanging in a honorable place.
Is that Clifford Perch?
Clifford Perch.
The man.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man, he's done a great job representing Arizona. James, how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Great weather up here. Lots of rain. In fact, the rain and the water flows into Roosevelt Lake has been the absolute talk of every fisherman up here. We're at a point where the Salt River is flowing at like 800 cubic feet per second. The Tonto Creek is flowing at 75, and the water is so muddy that even guides on Roosevelt Lake are only fishing between Cholla Ramp and Windy Hill.
Wow.
Anything further upstream than that, the water is so chocolate and so cold, it's just they're not catching anything in those areas of the lake.
Well, we need the water. That's helping us dodge the bullet on the golden alga blow up, which I think we have now. So oxygen is the key to dodging that. Listen, before we get started, we got Jeff here, Vice President of the AMVCC. You're the president of Ranger Pest, right?
President of Ranger Pest and Vice President of the AMVCC.
No, okay, we got that. He needs to be talking to you about a fly rod.
You know, I was listening through your website at the conversation there, and sounds pretty interesting. Do you guys use mostly like a travel rod, like a 4-section type fly rod, or a 2-section?
Well, there was a combination of everything, and these guys were real proud of their fishing rods. They'd spend up to $1,000 just on the rod alone.
Wow.
And so I felt very privileged to be borrowing one of them. The one that I had was a 4-piece.
James will build you a $2,000 fly rod, just so you know.
There you go.
Hey, now
12-piece.
There's bragging rights there.
Hey, and could I ask, what weight rod were you fishing with?
I think it was 5.5.
5 to 6, yeah. Wow, those are spectacular. There's nothing like having a nice brown on a fly rod. That's just a spectacular feeling.
They for some reason we were floating under a bridge, and they called it a Helen Keller fish because I just had thrown the fly in and I was
Nice.
talking, and the fish was nice enough to set himself on the hook for me.
you know, in bass fishing, we have the same type of phenomena. And because they always say that bass will hit when you're getting a sandwich or getting a drink or something like that. So I've always asked experienced anglers, like, if your rod's laying on the deck of the boat and you pick up the rod and there's a fish on the end, is that a legal catch?
As long as you're the one pulling it in.
And the answer was?
The answer was, it's your bait, and it's your fishing rod, and it's your boat, so yes, it's your fish.
Nice. Well, what would you suggest for Jeff here? Height and weight?
Yeah, tell me a little bit about the physical size.
6'1", 195, and 53. Blonde hair, blue eyes, and
we don't
size
care.
11.
We don't care.
Got about a
You're
30,
not going to date him. He
about
just
a
wants to
31,
make sure you
31
get
and
a
a half
fishing
inch
rod.
draw length, James.
Okay, so yes, I would probably lean more towards a 6-weight rod than a 5, just because I know there's some pretty strong fish up there that you guys are fighting, especially if you're targeting browns. I mean, that's always.
You're giving Jeff way too much credit. He's only been 3 times.
Yeah.
So I'd probably go with probably a little shorter travel rod. I'd stay with the 4-piece just because they're easier to pack in and out and easier to move around a lot. But probably an 8-foot, 8.5 foot, 6-weight would be ideal for that type of situation. And your size sounds just about right for fly fishing.
That sounds good.
There you go. Now, what color wraps do you want?
I don't know. Do they come in a variety?
Rainbow.
Oh, they come in any color wraps that you want, and any type of name or short phrase or anything like that we can put on a fishing rod.
Well, him being in the pest control business, I would say nothing grows where Jeff goes would be appropriate for his fly rod.
I thought that was me in the woods.
Yeah, you too.
Okay.
That might take up the bottom section of the rod, but yes, we keep that on there.
All right, enough of that. Let's go with the Rim Country Report. What's happening?
Hey, even with the excess water coming in that everyone's happy about, and the chocolate colors, the fishing report was called excellent this past week. I spoke to 2 different guides that work on Roosevelt Lake, and both of them said that they caught over 30-plus bass on guided fishing trips last week.
Wow.
So other anglers that fish pretty regular also are saying that there were good numbers. So not quite sure what's in the water that's causing that to happen. There seems to be a really good bite. It's mostly on points and on drop-off areas. So if you look at some areas like Goose Flats or up near the islands where there's across from the dam there that have some pretty steep drop-offs, those were areas that were being targeted last week. As far as bait selections, in the backs of some of the coves, now there's a caveat there. A cove that does not have a stream running into it, as long as there's no water coming into a cove, a Rio Rico or a Zora Spook were working for schooling bass early in the morning. So those bass are still trying to fatten up for wintertime, and when they can get into a cove and get some slightly clear water, which will be in the really shallow areas of the coves, they said that the top water was working. Out on the points, it was deep diving crankbaits in a white color were reported successful last week. But the most catches last week were still on a drop shot technique. And I'm told that any color worm is just about working 4 or 6 inch. The only thing that seemed to be really relevant was 10 to 20 feet of water.
Anybody Carolina rigging off the main lake points?
Yep. Anything on the bottom like that in that zone, Don, that you're 10 to 20 feet, as long as you're in that targeted zone, was working good. Now, a really experienced angler, a professional angler, told me that what they were doing was getting in real shallow water where the water has come up and covered some of the grass that was growing on the shoreline, because Roosevelt Lake's come up a couple of feet in the last couple of weeks. If you can find those grass areas, and we don't want to give away too many secrets, but if you look right outside of the Sally Mae Cove, you might see some grass just under the water. This guy was throwing a spitter bait in like less than a foot of water and being very successful.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, the crappie bite, though, on the other hand, this is the second week in a row, was just flat poor. No good crappie reports this week. The only thing that people keep telling me is that traditionally November is the best month for crappie, because that's the month that the weather is most stable on Roosevelt Lake. And so they're saying don't fish for crappie until November. But we're telling everyone to hang in there.
That's all good. That is great news on the lake. What's the percentage of pool right now?
39, but I'm really surprised it didn't go to 40 this week with the rate of the water that's flowing in there. So it's got to be just slightly below 40% full, which is good news. We've come up from, 37? Almost.
Oh, yeah. I figured by the time we hit this level right here would have the golden alga blowing up. So, I praise God, man. We just dodged a huge bullet on that lake.
Keep that water flowing. That's the trick.
Yeah. How about the elk? The elk still screaming up there?
Not too much on the elk side. Have seen a couple of trucks going through town with huge antlers hanging out of the back of them. So,
that was my truck last week, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, that was my truck, James.
Might have been. Definitely saw some going through there. So, this is the time of year that it's just great to be up there on the rim. It's like 47 degrees in the morning. Nice rains at night. We're getting most of our rain at night. I don't know why that is. Typically, we don't get any rain this time of year. We've been getting some really nice storms at nighttime here, and so that makes the mornings real kind of a lot of dew and a lot of slight fog and stuff around the areas in the mornings. So it's pretty nice up there.
Good stuff. Anything else going on up there we need to know about?
Hey, just one fast thing. On the winter trout stocking program that is conducted by Arizona Game and Fish, they released last week their stocking program. Now, we don't do any of the rim lakes because it's so cold up there, but if you want to see a complete list of all the winter stocking that's going to be done by Game and Fish, it's on their website. It's a good thing to go read.
Good stuff. All right, James, appreciate the competent report and all the good news on the Mother Lake. As always, have a great weekend.
Have a good week. Thanks, Don.
All right, James Guggenauer, Rim Country Custom Rods. Check him out. We'll be right back. All righty, we're back. We're going to get this thing wrapped up and get on with today. Thanks for joining us. JK, anything to add on behalf of ADA, AZSFWC, and or any other acronym you can think of?
No, we had a great camp this weekend for the youth deer hunters. We're looking forward to somebody's going to get lucky and they're going to get a pair of Vortex 10x42s out of the 27 kids who were registered. Somebody's getting a free pair of 10x42
nice.
Vortex. Thanks to the AZSFWC for the funding portion of that. We appreciate it. If everybody doesn't have a wildlife plate, you should. 17 out of those $25 goes towards the conservation efforts.
Do they come in historic plates too?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
That you get the copper plate.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. You have the copper plate for historic, but if you have any other vehicles that are not historic vehicles, you can get a conservation plate.
Which can be personalized.
Yes, it can. Mine does.
Yeah.
Mine says I speak elk.
Prius 101.
Yeah.
Okay. How about yourself, Mike? Contact information and for Goodyear Bass, how to sign up the kids for fishing?
Yeah, we're always looking for people. You can go to azbassnation.com and then click on the youth link, which takes you to the high school youth program, and my name and phone number's there. And we always are looking for either boat captains or helpers to help us out, and information on also about our adult side program as well as the youth and high school program. So we're out there, and we're easily accessible, so if anybody would like to do
out
that.
there doing it. Now, tell me again about the spaghetti dinner. What time? What time do I need to be there? I don't want to miss that sauce.
Oh, you can eat spaghetti and meatballs tomorrow.
Meatballs
5:30.
Yeah.
Woo!
Salad, dessert.
Where's this?
Yeah,
garlic toast.
It's 49th Avenue in Northern at the Knights of Columbus Hall there. So that's a Catholic organization, charity organization.
How appropriate for Columbus Day?
Yeah, well, it's called Knights of Columbus, and that's their patron saint. For those who
that sounds like a good place to engage in who actually discovered America. It wasn't Columbus; it was the Viking on our side. Okay?
Oh boy,
yeah. The Chinese were swearing they did it.
I know.
It's like what?
Oh well,
it's all good. And if you have pests, insects, bugs, Ranger Pest Control's the guy. How do we engage in your services?
Well, the bite is definitely on for scorpions and termites. Definitely termite season. My phone's ringing off the hook about that right now.
Termites.
Scorpions have been a big one this summer, like always. And various other insects.
I understand there's two kinds of houses, one that has termites and one that's going to get the termites. I think statistically there's in Arizona 13.5 million termites per acre.
Yeah, I don't know who counts that. But
I don't either. I have to question most of the stats that I look at.
But I'd like that job. The Ranger Pest Control's been doing business in the valley for since '92, but I personally have been doing pest control for 35. It was, pest control was kind of my safety net from ending up on the street corners. So,
okay,
slow joke, but you'll get it.
I got it.
You can contact us at rangerpestaz.com. And another thing that's picking up is the termite inspections. People are actually selling houses again, which is good news.
Now, do you do that?
Yes.
Interesting.
The termite inspections and the termite work. If if your house happens to come down with that, and general pest. You see a pest control truck on every corner, so there's no shortage of business out there.
How do you cure a home that has the tracks from termites? What do you do?
Napalm.
Typically, if it's a newer house, 90% of the time it's on the exterior of the house, coming up the stem wall.
Right.
So traditionally, you would dig a trench and flood that trench with termiticide and possibly drill holes into the patios and the driveways and garages. With the newer houses that are post-tension slabs, that's where they put high-tension cables under the slab to hold that house together, to keep it from cracking. Those are a little more difficult to drill. So we have other methods of putting foam in the walls or possibly putting termite bait stations around the outside of the house. There's not problems, there's just solutions.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you.
And
really well done.
You asked for a reason?
Yeah, on my garage wall, I saw this little brown track coming up on the outside.
I have cards out in my truck, and we can certainly talk after the radio program.
There you go. And you, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Yes, let's follow up with the January show, time, date, and place.
Well, the time, date, and place for the January show, this is the 24th and 25th of January, 2015. So it's going to be basically Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 5 or 9 to 4 in the afternoon. It's going to be at Metro Center Mall. All the details on the show and on any of the events that we're doing in the meantime, because we've got the Veterans Parade is one of the ones that we're doing.
Yep.
Some other shows and parades, things in the meantime. All that information is at our website at www.armytrucks.org. So if you're not able to make some of the parades and other events, definitely recommend that military vehicle show, because it's just a great time for everybody.
It is. What's the cost?
Cost is $5 for adults.
Nice.
Kids are free, and anyone active military is free as well.
And there's hot dogs?
There might be this year. I think we can arrange that.
Hot dogs.
Yeah, we can arrange it.
One we didn't talk about, one event that I think is well worthwhile mentioning, is the Arizona National Guard at ASU on December 7th. We'll have all 7,200 personnel present at a muster.
That's correct. Yeah, we plan on making a presence at that event. It sounds like a really good event.
Cool. Let me ask, is there anybody committed to bringing heavy armor or tanks, half-tracks to the Metro Center?
We're currently in plans with that right now. We don't have 100% commitments on that, but usually the last 3 or 4 years, we've been able to get at least one half-track or tank or multiple. I think we had about, 4 armored
Yeah,
vehicles?
We had British Centurion out there last year that belongs to the
Bulletproof
diesel. Bulletproof diesel.
Yeah.
And then the Hellcat.
Yeah, so if you've never seen a tank up close, I mean, I come to think of it, before I'd seen these, I hadn't seen one up close. It's really kind of a cool thing to see, the size and the, just tap on the side of it. Just, it's amazing how thick they are.
That brings me back to this conflict that we're still having, is the mentality of a guy standing out there with an AK-47 going up against an Abrams.
Lose-lose proposition.
Or a Toyota pickup truck.
Yeah.
I think we should do that just to make a point, is go down to a wrecking yard and get a white Toyota pickup truck, burn it, put it on a trailer and go. Jihad works both ways.
There you go.
Blessed be the peacemakers. Alrighty, that's about it for Shake, Rattle, and Troll today. Check out the website. We've got a lot of AZGFD newsworthy items out there. We're still looking for some poachers up north.
Always.
And any movement on the meadow devastation?
No. No, nothing yet. Nobody's reported it. Obviously, somebody went wild with quads and just had a ball.
Well, we submitted a guy to OGT that was in Unit 6B driving a red Silverado, baiting turkeys. Of all the damn things.
Baiting turkeys?
Yeah, we'll be following that up. We've got a license number and description of the occupants, the Chevrolet trucks, and all that kind of stuff. If you need a vehicle, I-17 West Camelback Road, build Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, yep, since 1927. I'm Don McDowell. Take your kids fishing, hug your bass boat.
We're out of here.
We're out of here. See you, bye.